Hello and welcome to another video tutorial. Today we'll be looking at why Motion Tween and Classic Tween sometimes don't work in Adobe Animate and how to avoid such mistakes. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a ball on stage, right? So that is a ball. So we learned that to create a motion tween, in some instances, you need to convert whatever you have to a symbol, right? The object on stage to a symbol before you animate, right? So I'm going to come to the 1 second timeline and insert a blank keyframe. Now, in between, I'll insert my motion tween. Now, because I didn't convert this to a symbol, by default, Adobe Animate will prompt me if I want to do that. Go ahead and click on yes. Now, though this has been done, converted to a symbol, this year will not animate. Why? Because there's nothing at the last keyframe. And again, there hasn't been any change in position, right? There hasn't been any property change. So the first keyframe is the only thing we see throughout to the last frame here. So because of that, this um, animation will not work. Okay. So the motion tween will not work automatically in this case. So how do we correct this mistake? So what we're going to do is that we're going to remove that blank keyframe by doing we're going to do F5, right? So F5, basically what it has done is to remove the blank keyframe, right? And we can go ahead and set the frame right there, okay? So we're going to insert a frame. So we just do that insert a frame to bring it back to the 1 second timeline, right? So once this is done, we're going to change the position of the keyframe. So once the position of the keyframe is changed, we can see rightly here that the um, the motion tween has happened as is expected. So if I click on the playhead, you notice that it now follows through correctly as we want it to. Now we have seen when a motion tween will not happen in one instant. Let's take another example uh, when a motion tween will not occur and know how to rectify that. Now again, if I have an object on stage, so I have an object on stage. I'm going to convert this to a symbol. So you first of all select it and do F8, right? So if I do F8, so you do F8 to convert this to a symbol. So I'm going to change this and call it ball, right? Okay. And so once this is ball, that is it. I'm going to go to the 1 second timeline. And this time around, I'm going to insert um, a keyframe. Now I'm going to insert a blank keyframe as we did before. And then I'm going to change the item on stage. So I'm going to put in here a rectangle. Now notice in the first instant we have on the frame here ball, and at the last keyframe we have um, a rectangle. So in between here, I'm going to go ahead to create Classic Tween. Now this here will not animate. Now you notice at this point we're not even prompted to change whatever was on stage to a symbol, right? So in this case again, it will not work. So we just have the animation basically showing us the first image on stage and then the last image on stage. That's basically what is happening. So even though we see again the symbol here showing that a motion tween has been done, um, there's nothing actually taking place. So you can see that the ball just jumped from this to that without really showing a progressive um, show of or display of the ball in between the other frames, between the first frame and the 24th frame. There's virtually nothing. So you just jump from here to that point. So another thing you need to note with motion tween is that you do not need more than two objects or two symbols on shape in order to create a motion tween. You just need one symbol, and that is now fair enough. So I'm going to remove this here. So I'm going to remove that. So to do that, I'm going to clear the keyframe. So if I clear the keyframe, it has removed that object I had on stage. So I bring again the cursor to the last frame and then change the position. So once the position is changed from the initial one, we're going to have a motion tween set in place. So this are two scenarios in which the motion tween will not work and how to correct it. So we'll take another instance for classic tween. Right. So for classic tween, um, we're going to look at one instance when it will not work. So let's have again a ball on stage. So this is a ball on stage, right? And at the last keyframe here, I'm going to insert a frame, right? And in between, I'm going to insert a classic tween. Now, to ask me to convert to a symbol, I'll say yes. Now, the moment I do that, I see some dotted lines here showing me clearly that, the motion classic tween has not been created. Right. So anytime you see this dotted line, it means that the classic tween is not working. Now, how do we rectify this? Now, notice that we inserted a frame and not a keyframe. So we're going to move this to, again, the 1 second timeline so that it's just consistent with the other one. And so within this last keyframe, the 24th keyframe, I'm going to insert a keyframe, right? So to correct that, I'll set a keyframe. So inserting a keyframe, I can do F6. And so once a keyframe is inserted, now the motion tween will be created. The classic tween will be created if I change the position, right? So if I move the ball here to that point, you notice that the classic tween is working correctly now. So first of all, you have to have two keyframes has been demonstrated, and then again there should not be you should change the position of the frame for it to work. Now another instant where it will not work is when I have a blank keyframe here. So if I go ahead and remove the um, I'm going to remove that keyframe by inserting a blank keyframe right there. So I'm going to remove this frame here. So to remove the frame, I do Control F5, right? So I'm going to do Control F5 to remove that, right? So, okay. So what I have to do is to remove this keyframe, right? So to remove that keyframe, I basically go here and say remove frame. So once you do that, notice again that we have some dotted line. So again, classic tween will not work if it is just a frame and then a black keyframe, or when you have a frame and when you have a keyframe and a frame. Is that okay? All right. So those are the instances where classic tween will not work. All right. So thank you for your time, and that brings us to the end of this video tutorial. So till we meet again. Bye bye.